this week I've been thinking about a few different things, but most importantly, what's on my mind right now is fiction and how important fiction is, and how important fiction has been in my life. I was thinking about Willy Wonka, actually, recently. Must have seen a Pinterest post or something, but the entire song, it's Welcome to a World of Pure Imagination, it speaks to me. And I think it speaks to me so much because for most of my life, my imagination has been my happy place. It's been my escape. It's been my whatever I do when I'm bored. It's been the easiest part of my life. And given that I've had kind of a hard life, which I won't go into detail here, but I've had not an easy life. I find fiction to be so important, so helpful when it comes to just living my normal everyday life. For example, one of the things that you'll learn about me pretty quickly if you don't already know, I am a huge introvert, and I do require cave time, quote unquote, as I like to call it, in which I kind of go into my cave. I don't talk to anyone, I don't see anyone, I'm not in anyone's space, it's nice and quiet, it's just me. And then I can be rejuvenated and go back out into the world and have some more energy to expend loving and caring about people and just being with people. However, one of the other things that I've learned in talking with a few other introverts is that it's not so much just being alone for me. Like, one of my friends in high school, she could have her introvert time when she was doing homework and she'd be good to go. That doesn't work for me. I couldn't take the time alone to do my homework and feel revived enough to go back out into the world and be with people. And what I figured out about myself then is that I require specifically fictional cave time. Whether it's marathoning a TV show by myself or reading a book for hours on end, I need to be spending time alone, not surrounded by people, in a different world. Yeah. Just send me away to Narnia or something and it'll be fine. And I think a lot of that comes from an escapism coping mechanism that I've used for a really long time. But I think a lot of it, too, just stems from the fact that, like, the people that are having problems in these books, those aren't my problems. And I can go along with them and have fun, but I can also be like, I'm going to close the book now and let you just deal with what's going on in that kingdom, because not my circus, not my monkeys, you know? And, like, it's interesting to me that that's the case because it's also taught me a lot about how to interact with other people and hearing about their problems and helping them through them without taking them onto myself. And I couldn't be able to do that without fiction. You know? I'm by nature a fixer. I love trying to fix situations, so my first instinct when somebody comes to me with a problem is to offer them advice on how to, like, get out of the problem, because isn't that what we all actually want, is to get out of the problem? And one of my friends in college helped me learn that, no, she didn't want me to help her fix her problem, she wanted me to just listen, because she wanted to fix the problem herself. Which is great. And once I figured that out, then so many things got easier in that friendship. Maybe I'm not surrounded by people who are hunting demons or other monsters like the people in Supernatural, but I am surrounded by a bunch of broken people who are having really hard life circumstances, and knowing that I can go and, like, be with Sam and Dean while they're hunting, while they're literally saving the world, at least their world, right? Knowing that I can accompany them on that journey, and then also be like, no, okay, I'm going to let them deal with all of the monsters that they're dealing with, and I, on the other hand, I'm going to go see if my sister needs a chick flick moment, as they call it in the show. A moment when the boys have a little heart-to-heart, and then they're like, no, I'm not going to hug you because we're not having a chick flick moment. Here, have a beer. You know? But, like, they had a heart-to-heart. They had to talk about it, and even just seeing what happens in that show when people don't talk to each other, and then versus like, hey, this is something that you're doing that's bothering me, and we live together, so we have to figure this out. Like, knowing that, hey, talking to each other actually solves a lot of problems. It just, I don't know. Fiction has such an interesting way of providing an escape and a rest while also being entertaining. Like, there are times when I do legitimately just watch things to be entertained. It's not always self-care, but most of the time it is self-care. And the same thing happens in my writing. Most of my writing starts as self-care. There's a story in my head that I need to get out, so I write it down. And then after I go through it a few times, then I give it off to the public to be like, hey, this helped me. Maybe it'll help you. And that's my goal. That's my goal as a writer. It's my goal as a reader. It's my goal as a consumer. And that's the case, too, for any kind of story. So, TV, you know, TV shows, movies, books, video games, tabletop roleplay. It's all so... The fiction creates a space in which you don't have to be yourself, and it's okay. And I think that's important. It also allows you a space to explore different parts of yourself and be like, hey, yeah, I relate to that character. I see myself in them. And that's the goal, right? To be like, okay, if I'm starting to see myself in Oliver Queen, maybe I need to, you know, maybe I need to change something, because I don't think I want to go around murdering people. But I also would really like to have his fitness goals, so maybe I'll take that and actually make my life a little bit better by trying to get myself in shape. Or, hey, I really like how Betty and Jughead and Riverdale actually talk to each other and, like, have a supportive relationship where both of them do their own investigative stuff. And it's so good. Like, both of them come from really messed up families, but together they're so much better than they were before. It gives you hope, and it gives you a place to be like, okay, maybe the world isn't all bad, and now maybe I can go back into the world. And that's not to say that, you know, these things aren't still good when the world is good, because, like I said, then you can just get the entertainment factor from it. But I think having fiction the way that it is so helpful, because it creates a space where you can explore who you are, learn who you are, and then also go back out into the world and implement what you've learned and what you've explored and try different things and have courage to try different things and also be refreshed or just have fun having watched something entertaining. Plus, let's be real, how many times have you walked up to a stranger and been like, hi, how are you doing? How's your life? I don't know you from anyone. But if you see that same stranger wearing a Marvel t-shirt and you're like, oh my gosh, they like Marvel, I like Marvel, and then you can be like, hi, I am Jory. So you like Marvel? And then you already have a conversation topic. So it allows you different ways to interact with people, different ways to learn about the world, and just ways to learn how to be a better human being. Like, obviously don't go emulate villains, but there's so many things that you can learn from the heroes. And the opposite effect of like, okay, yeah, that did not work for... It did not work for Loki to kill 80 people, so I'm not going to go do that. It's a really bad example, but you get what I'm saying. This video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to stop there. But fiction, in all of its forms, is so wonderful and so beautiful, and it drives me crazy when people say that they only like watch the news or read nonfiction, because I'm like, but you're missing out on so many good things. So many possibilities of like what you can learn just because it's not real. You know? Just because it's not real doesn't mean that it doesn't have real consequences. In a good way. Good consequences. On that note, I will see you next time. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Share it with a friend. Make sure that the notifications bell is turned on so that you don't miss when I post. So that way you can get a notification every time. And then you'll just see all of my videos. And then we can be friends. Alright, I will see you next time. Bye, lovelies.